news. The suspect in the assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump appearing in court later this morning. Now, this comes as the Justice Department is releasing chilling letters written by Ryan Ruth in the months before he allegedly tried to take Trump's life. This is new this morning, and Dana Marie McNichol live in West Palm Beach, Florida, with more. Good morning.
Good morning, Dana. This will be Ruth's second time in court, appearing at 11 a.m. this morning. A reminder, there's no cameras in federal court, but last week when he was there, he was smiling, laughing with his attorney, so showed interesting demeanor. The detention hearing is expected to be short, but in the meantime, what you were mentioning, Dana, brand new information this morning. We got our hands on new court documents from the DOJ that reveals that surrounding the day of the attempted assassination, while police searched Ruth's car, they found 2 additional license plates, 6 cell phones. One of the cell phones had a Google search of how to travel from Palm Beach County to Mexico. The agents also found 12 pairs of gloves and documents, including a handwritten list of dates in August through October of this year, 2024, and venues of where the former president would be. Additional new details come from a witness interviewed by the FBI who said Ruth had dropped off a box at his house a couple months ago with ammunition, a metal pipe, miscellaneous building materials, 4 cell phones, and various letters. One handwritten letter addressed to the world said, quote, "This was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, but I failed you. I tried my best and gave it all the gumption I could muster," end quote. He also offered thousands of dollars to finish the job. Prosecutors here today will most likely argue this letter proves his intent. Now, today, Ruth is facing 2 gun charges: possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. This carries a combined maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. These new court documents also say the rifle was loaded with a total of 11 rounds and had a round in the chamber. There was also fingerprint evidence on the rifle linking Ruth. Now, there are most likely more severe charges coming, but the charges we have currently are enough to keep him locked up for now. Now, today, Ruth's attorney will be able to request bond, but the judge will most likely deny that bond, keeping him in jail until a trial or at least more severe charges could be filed. Again, he will appear at 11 a.m., and we'll bring you those details as soon as we get them.
I will give $100 million to whoever gets me out of here. $100 million! $100 million. What does this guy think he is, huh? $100 million.
$100 million! Well, it's not $100 million, but the feds just released a letter seconds ago saying that there is a bounty on President Trump's head of $150,000 from an unemployed, penniless man who was able to crisscross the globe. Not exactly sure how he could afford that. Was able to purchase a firearm, even though he had a weapons of mass destruction felony, along with 73 other criminal offenses. A man who was able to vote in North Carolina, the Democrat primary, in 2024, just 6 months ago, who had a Biden-Harris sticker on the back of his truck. A man who isn't a resident of North Carolina, lived in Hawaii. And now, of course, was able to point a firearm at President Trump's skull from 300 yards away. It is a miracle right now. It's Monday morning, September 23rd, 2024. It is a miracle that President Trump is alive. The DOJ just released a bounty on President Trump's head. The DOJ, who told you that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation and has yet to release a single slide or piece of evidence from Hunter Biden's laptop, just released a letter. Decided to, nobody asked him for it, decided to vomit up a letter that says Donald Trump's skull on a platter is worth $150,000. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, what you are living in. At some point, the incompetence blends over into malevolence, and we're going to talk about it today. The former acting director of the Department of Homeland Security, the guy who's in charge of the Secret Service, Chad Wolf, is going to be joining the show, along with Matt Gaetz, congressman who revealed that there are 5 roving assassin teams that are hunting President Trump across the country right now. What will they have to say? What a stacked, incredible show. This is all chilling, But there is also good news and some silver linings. And as we often say on this program, the assassination attempts wouldn't be necessary if Donald Trump was losing. Donald Trump is winning, ladies and gentlemen. You can be winning as well with your finances if you go to Allegiance Gold and invest with my friends. Gold has outperformed this year any commodity. It's outperformed everything. I think maybe except for Bitcoin, but that's personal choice. I'm telling you, this gold, you can physically hold it in your hand. That's exactly what I do. I diversify with my friends at Allegiance. There's a reason why gold is so expensive, because we're entering choppy waters and you want to make sure that your finances are secure. Go to protectwithbenny.com today. Call 844-66-BENNY. Right now, we get $5,000 of free silver with qualifying purchase. Don't get fooled by inflated stock values or the promise of Fugazi. It's all fake, ladies and gentlemen. Go with something real. Protectwithbenny.com today. Okay, here's real, ladies and gentlemen. This is real. Let's jump right into the news. The DOJ releases the bounty on President Trump. Now, I want you to put up the letter, please. I want you to put up the letter. Let's pop up that letter, and we're going to read through exactly what it says. Now, I can't believe this. I would never. Let's say that I had this myself. It's not like I would ever want to keep something from you, but I'm not sure that I would release this. Let's say Ryan Routh, for some reason, decided to mail this to our studio. I would never have released this. I would have gone immediately to law enforcement and said, "This is so dangerous. This is so scary. I will give $150,000 to someone who will complete the job." I failed in my mission to murder President Trump. In case anyone was wondering, I've seen, of course, some of the conspiracy theorists on the left say that this guy was just bird watching, that Donald Trump wasn't hit with a bullet in Butler, that he was just hit with a mosquito. It was just mosquito. It was a very bad mosquito. It was one of those West Nile mosquitoes, from down south. That's what clipped his ear, right? It wasn't a bullet. You've seen all these conspiracy theories. It's time to put them all to rest, okay? Time to put them to rest. Here's the letter. The difference between this and Butler is that this man wasn't 19 years old. This man had lived a long and very extensive online life. We know who this person was. We know what they were doing, or at the very least, we were able to construct some type of framework about what Ryan Routh thought, how he acted, and how he behaved, and what his intentions were. And his intentions were to murder President Trump live on camera. He attached a camera to the fence line so that he could murder it and then put it up on the internet. This was the intention. The intention was a on-air execution of President Trump while he was golfing. Now, of course, there is no doubt. The question remains, and of course, we'll ask the former director of Homeland Security, who's on the program today, which is so awesome, Chad Wolf, about all of this and the security failures. Is no one better. President Trump's would-be assassin, Ryan Routh's chilling letter offering $150,000 to those who could finish the job. Donald Trump's would-be assassin, Ryan Routh, wrote a chilling letter admitting he failed in trying to take the life of the former president. Routh also offered $150,000 for anybody who would finish the job, according to the Justice Department. Now, why would the Justice Department release this? This is, of course, the question that is ping-pong balling across social media right now. You haven't released, the Justice Department has yet to release the manifesto of the Nashville shooter who murdered children. The Nashville shooter murdered children and went systematically through a school, targeting a Christian school to murder Christian children. This was, of course, a heinous hate crime. This is, of course, something that can be accelerated via the Civil Rights Act as a hate crime against a targeted specific groups, Christians, who are the most targeted group for hate in America. That is beyond a shadow of a doubt. So stand strong, Christian soldier. They have yet to release the manifesto of that shooter. Why? Well, the official reason from the Justice Department is that it might inspire people to do more bad things. Now, depending on, it doesn't really matter what you think of that opinion. That is what they've said. All right. We can do a totally different show on whether we think that's right or not. Why then would you release this? Is a question. Why would you release this right here? Saying that there's big cash in killing Trump. If you don't release the manifesto of somebody who murdered children, like, so on the levels, right? The Nashville shooter's dead. They murdered children. It's very important to understand like the sick ideology behind that and to ensure that people can protect themselves against it. But they haven't released that because it could cause harm. Yet they released this. Ryan Wesley Routh is still alive. There's not like ongoing criminal procedures against the Nashville shooter. The Nashville shooter is dead. Routh is alive, and President Trump is 40 days away from winning an election. Why are they releasing this? We often say on this program, a paraphrase of Elon Musk, that gross negligence with enough people behaving incompetently is indistinguishable from malevolence. This, however, is malevolence. That's just there's the only way to actually dissect this. There is no other way to interpret this. This is pure malevolence. This is the Justice Department stating to all of the people who have had their brains broken over the past 8 years of pure MK Ultra level psyops against President Trump that Donald Trump is Hitler, Donald Trump is Hitler, Donald Trump is Hitler. What wouldn't you do to prevent the next Hitler? And also, you can get rich doing it. This is what the Justice Department is doing right now. The Justice Department is protecting a mass murderer of children, Christian children, in Nashville. They're protecting the mass murderer in Nashville. And they're putting a hit out on Trump. What does that tell you? Are you awake yet? Have you decided to crawl over flaming broken glass to vote for President Trump? If they can do this to Trump, what can they do to you? Who's next, right? Yeah. This is the irreverence they have towards their old boss. Imagine how blackened the system actually is. Imagine how dark it truly is. This is what they're willing to do to President Trump. Let's continue. I'm reading to you from the letter right now. I probably wouldn't have done it if I had been sent this letter because I think that it's too harmful and too dangerous for our president. But since it's out there, and since it's very public, and since our own Justice Department decided to make it so, it is incumbent upon me, it is my obligation to read it to you. Here we go. This was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. This is Ryan Routh writing this. I failed you. I tried my best. I gave it all the gumption I could muster. It is up to you now to finish the job. And I will offer $150,000 to whomever can complete the job. It addresses the world, he says, and it ends and said Trump had ended relations with Iran like a child, and now the Middle East is unraveling. Ralph, 58, who had a list of Trump's upcoming appearances and had Googled a route to Palm Beach, Florida, to Mexico, so he's planning on fleeing to Mexico, no doubt to be protected by the cartels that also do not want President Trump to become president again. He's set to appear in federal court on Monday for a detention hearing after the attempted assassination. So the feds are releasing this information, of course, to make sure that they can continue to detain him whilst not cooperating with the Florida investigation. Well, that's quite an interesting conflict of interest there, isn't it? Why wouldn't you be cooperating with Ron DeSantis in his investigation? Why would you be releasing this to the public? Every step is mendacity towards President Trump. Now, this is something very interesting. We have that Iranian assassination. We're the only show on earth that will actually show you this. We're the only program on earth, and it's available online, so it's our obligation. You're an adult. You can handle it. It's available online. Isn't this fascinating? That he says that it's Iran is part of the reason why he wanted to kill Trump. Iran. Well, wouldn't you know? The Iranians released a video of President Trump's assassination where a shooter kills him from inside of the golf course bushes in West Palm Beach. West Palm Beach, Florida. Trump's house. Well. Here we go. A shot from the bushes. There's President Trump golfing, and the entire video is somebody from inside of the bushes. It happens to be an unmanned drone, unmanned military drone, going and killing President Trump from inside the bushes. Boy, I wonder where this guy got his cash. I wonder where this individual got the ideas. Pretty interesting. This is called predictive programming. It's when media, someplace, either media on the internet or in Hollywood, predicts something that's about to happen and does so with such cutting accuracy that it leaves you to wonder how pre-planned our current matrix world actually is. How pre-planned the simulation is, in fact. Really is remarkable here. That really stands out. Ahead of that appearance, federal prosecutors submitted a written factual proffer with new details about the day that Ralph tried to assassinate Trump in the West Palm Beach golf course. In addition to outlining the evidence against Ralph, the Justice Department argued that he should remain locked up in case as the case moves forward. The document reveals that a Secret Service agent was riding the fence line between Trump's course and the public street, one hole ahead of the former president, when he spotted the partially obscured face of a man in the brush along the fence line. The man was ID'd as Ralph. The agent then noticed the rifle barrel sticking through and fired on the suspect. The agent took cover behind a tree and reloaded his weapon, and then looked up, and Ralph was gone. Ralph was positioned directly on the line of sight on the 6th hole of the green. Trump was playing the 5th hole at the time of the incident. That's how close the president was when he heard the shots fired. Oh, okay. After the agent fired, he witnessed Ralph run across Summit Boulevard towards a black Nissan Xterra bearing Florida license plate parked nearby. The witness took photographs of the Nissan and wrote down the last digits of the license plate number. Using that information, local law enforcement could find and arrest Ralph. Would Ralph, without this witness, who I think was she was an off-duty nurse, without this witness, would Ryan Ralph have been at large right now? Would anybody have been able to find him? You know, they caught him like an hour after this. He had driven like 90 miles away. Would he have gotten away? Would Ralph have been able to get away? Additionally, with a notebook and dozens of pages filled with names and phone numbers pertaining to Ukraine, discussions about how to join combat on behalf of Ukraine, and notes criticizing the governments of China and Russia. Also in the vehicle were 12 pairs of gloves, a Hawaiian driver's license in Ralph's name, and a list of Trump's public appearances in September and October. He also had 6 cell phones. 6 cell phones? Boy, what a treasure trove of information. Who was he talking with? Who was he communicating with? Who was he speaking to? On September 18th, law enforcement was contacted by a witness who said Ralph had dropped off a box at his residence several months prior. After seeing news of what happened on the golf course, the witness opened the box. Along with its contents was a chilling letter addressed to the world, where Ralph announced his intentions to kill the former president. So this is where we get the letter. That was actually a question of mine. As predicted, and predicted that he would fail, he offered 6 figures, those to complete the task. Everyone across the globe, from the youngest to the oldest, knows that Trump is unfit for anything, much less to be U.S. president or president, must be at a bare minimum embody the moral fabric of America, be kind, caring, and selfless, and always stand for humanity. No, I'm sorry, that's not Rachel Maddow's prompter tonight. That's what Ryan Ralph wrote in his suicide letter, bounty letter, offering to kill Trump. Remarkable how it mirrors perfectly the commentary that is the bilge that is pushed out on corporate television every single night about Donald Trump. Read, U.S. presidents must bare minimum embody the moral fabric of America, be kind, caring, and selfless. And remember, must always be defenders of democracy. Our democracy is under threat. Our democracy is under threat. We must put a target on Trump. We have to put a target on Trump. Trump's a threat. Trump is Hitler. What are some of the other things that they've said? The list is endless. We have a supercut that's like 10 minutes long of threats against President Trump, including Stacey Plaskett, who's a fake member of Congress from the Virgin Islands, saying that we need to shoot Trump. She said it. She said the word shoot. She corrects herself. She says we need to shoot Trump. We need to take out Trump. These are what they say. This is the things they say. I don't like Kamala Harris. I think she's a communist. I think she's going to lose badly on election night. I don't like Kamala Harris. Her father's a Marxist. Her mother's a Marxist. I think she wants to bring Marxism to America. I would never speak about her in those terms. Ever. Ever. I would never say those things. And neither would you. I want nothing but peace and I tell you, there are some people I really don't like. Some people that I think are here to wreck America and destroy this place for my children. So there's nothing more personal than that. They want my children to go die in a ditch somewhere. for the military-industrial complex. I hate these people. I really, really don't like these people. I would never speak about them in these terms. And that is the difference. That's just like the spark of morality that we still have, and you must maintain that. You must grab hold of that. They, on the other hand, literally offer up money and then release the bounty letters to get Trump killed. That's the difference. Wow. The box contained ammunition, metal pipe, miscellaneous building materials, tools, 4 phones, and various letters. This guy was sloppy, dude. This is MK Ultra gone wrong. This guy was sloppy. It's staggering, the sloppiness. Unlike Thomas Crooks, the assassin in Butler, who, as was said on our program last week, if it had just been a body shot, Eric Prince told us this. If it had just been a body shot, Trump would be dead. Trump would be dead. If he just aimed for the body and not the head, Trump would be done. Trump would be gone. But he went for the head, and Donald Trump moved, and like the whisper of an angel, that bullet was right by his skull. Rest in peace, please, Corey Compertor. Love and prayers for the family of Corey. So it is a dangerous, dangerous environment that we are living in right now. And the DOJ is seemingly being incredibly reckless in this. Sickeningly reckless. So it is Shock Don Jr. reacting here. Donald Trump Jr. reacting, saying, what the F? Why is Kamala's DOJ publicizing Ryan Ralph putting a bounty on my dad's head? This is Don Jr.'s reaction. This is a really shocking and pretty despicable series of events. I don't know what the possible explanation would be for them to release this. I don't know. Let's check in what our friend Julie Kelly has to say. From this DOJ memo seeking pretrial detention of Ryan Ralph, it appears that Ralph was in West Palm Beach area and near the golf course in Mar-a-Lago several times a month before the attempted assassination. Oh, okay. We were all waiting. Say the line, FBI. Say the line. And then we screamed when they said it. I can't believe. How predictable is it? What kind of simulation are we living? Can you please reset the simulation to 2015? Please? Can somebody get an apology from the overlords? Can we just set the simulation? It's so predictable. The FBI goes, he was on our radar. What was it for? Oh, a weapons charge. He was a felon. Okay. That happened in 2019. Why didn't you arrest him? He's clearly a felon with a weapons charge. Here he is. Here's the weapon, you can see. And here he is stalking West Palm Beach. Ralph traveled from Greensboro, North Carolina to West Palm Beach on Friday, Florida, on August 14th, 2024, August 14th. Wow. Also on the 18th. The FBI examined the SKS rifle recovered from Trump International and found latent fingerprints on it, tape attached to the rifle. Here it is. Finally, we have it in 4K. So he was stalking Trump. How many more of these teams are out stalking Trump? Well, there's a man who made a stunning revelation on national TV that crisscrossed the world last week. It's Representative Matt Gaetz. And there's, I doubt anybody who's been a stronger and more ardent defender of President Trump on earth, and somebody who I'm sure fears for his safety, and was willing to tell the world that there are 5 assassination teams, foreign and domestic, hunting Trump right now. Holy smokes. We featured the clip on Friday. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Matt Gaetz joins us live to tell us more. Here we go. Matt, thank you so much for being on the program. Really appreciate it, Congressman. Can you please explain what is a domestic assassination team hunting President Trump?
Well, a team may well be just one person. And I think in some of the cases of this 5, you may even have lone wolf efforts. But what troubled me most was that in just the several days leading up to the second assassination attempt, there was a senior DHS official in my office saying that one of the 5 teams was Ukrainian. And then in the following days, I see this person like proverbially and rhetorically wrapped in the Ukrainian flag involved in that very assassination attempt. So why would this be the subject of DHS, right? After the Butler situation, you have a review of the force posture and the threat environment to see if there's anything we can learn from that going forward for the Secret Service. That's entirely reasonable. That's what you would expect from Republicans or Democrats. And you would have to assess when determining whether or not the right decisions were made on force protection in Butler, like what was the threat environment? Was the threat environment entirely calm? That could potentially justify lower force posture. But if you had a really robust threat environment, well, then you would reasonably question, why were some sniper teams taken away from the Trump detail and given to details for Jill Biden or John Bolton? And we certainly don't want anything bad to happen to Jill Biden or John Bolton, but you have a finite amount of resources, right? And you can leverage state and local if you manage correctly, which, by the way, the early evidence suggests that that wasn't managed correctly in Butler, Pennsylvania. But when you're doing the Butler review and then you reveal that there are 5 known teams, I don't want you to think there are only 5. There are 5 teams that were known by our government to have been hunting Trump pre-Butler. That may be a very different number today. Matter of fact, that number could have increased or shrunk, right? For all we know, by today, they've neutralized one of the teams or one of the individuals involved in these efforts. But to hear that one of them is Ukrainian, and then you see this guy show up, who, by the way, was on the radar of Homeland Security investigations, because when he enters the country, the very smart and astute folks at Customs and Border Patrol, think about that. Your Customs and Border Patrol, your agency has been totally overrun. You're exhausted. And yet they have the wherewithal to say, this doesn't make sense. This guy's been all over the world. And now he's saying he's a freedom fighter, recruiting people. And when we ask him a reasonable question, who's funding your efforts to recruit people from Taiwan and Afghanistan to go fight in Ukraine?
Iran.
Who's funding that? And the answer is, oh, my wife's paying for it. That story didn't exactly check out. You and I both have very successful wives that we're very proud of, but I don't think they'd pay for a hobby quite like this. And so when that goes to HSI, no activity, no action, no review. And now it emerges that one of the teams we knew about hunting Trump had a Ukraine connection.
Could you please expound on this? Because, of course, this broke news across the globe that there were 5 teams hunting Trump. And your colleague Annie Biggs joined the program the day after and said Pakistani and Iranian were foreign teams that were hunting Trump. Could you please elaborate for us?
Yeah,
and just for the sake of the audience,
that's right. What Biggs is saying.
A source told you this. A source told you this in your office. Why hasn't the source gone public? Why hasn't there been a fire alarm pulled Jamal Bowman style on this to say that they're trying to kill our president. They're trying to kill the guy who's going to become the president.
Look, Benny, don't you see what they do to the people who come forward and tell the truth? Look at what they did to the IRS whistleblowers. Look at what they've done to the FBI whistleblowers. They ruined their lives. Okay? I mean, I think it is a fair critique of me and of the Republicans in Congress that we have not done enough to protect the existing whistleblowers who have come forward to bring us information about bad actions inside this government, whether they be on purpose or just as a result of abject incompetence. And here, the Andy Biggs information that you just shared with me aligns directly with what I heard. So 3 foreign teams, 1 Iranian, 1 Ukraine connected, and 1 Pakistan connected, and then 2 other teams that were roving around the country domestically that they were aware of. Now, and again, I don't want to over sauce this. Sometimes a team is 1 person and we've got a full, ability to track every movement and watch everything they do. But is it not a reasonable question now to get those folks to come forward and say, well, what was the Ukraine deal? Tell us a little more about that, since this guy, allegedly on behalf of his loyalties to Ukraine and hatred of Trump, was hunting the leading Republican contender for the presidency and the former president of the United States. It's something. Can I get into something else, Benny?
Please. I mean, of course, I have to ask, how does this guy have $150,000 to complete the job? That's the breaking news right now.
Right. No, that's the thing we got to do on this investigation. You have to follow the money. Who was funding this guy? Who was funding his wife? Look, you know what the January 6th committee did? They analyzed with every target of theirs, how did they spend money? How did they communicate? And how did they move? And that's exactly the regimen of investigation that we ought to put on this. That's what we ought to do. And frankly, I think that this deserves its own special team of the Congress working on. And I'll talk to the speaker about that. He's usually pretty responsive. But there's another committee I serve on, and I want to talk to you about it. I'm on the Armed Services Committee, and for several terms, I've been on the committee that oversees our cyber effort. And every quarter, I get a classified briefing on all of the offensive and defensive missions that are going on in the world that the United States is aware of, involved in, and we have a tremendous cyber command. We should fund the cyber command. Those are great folks. And I received a briefing from them last week. And I can't tell you the substance of that briefing, and we can't get into any of it, but I am allowed to say what my perception is coming out of it. And my absolute belief coming out of that classified briefing from our Intelligence Committee and from our Department of Defense is that you and Tim Pool and everybody else were victims of a Russian malign influence campaign. You were not involved. You were not solicitous. You were the victims. And I think that those of us who are in the small groups of people that get to see the actual intel and the actual evidence need to come forward and say that, because Tim has been unfairly smeared. You have been unfairly smeared. And it's not a question in my mind that you were the victims of a Russian election interference effort. And that is how it ought to be portrayed.
Well, that's absolutely true. It is 100% true. And what we've always said on this program is that we hate these wars. Vladimir Putin is a dictator, and I don't like Zelensky. I think he's a scumbag. And I think what's happening in Ukraine is a massive money laundering operation for our defense department. I don't like the war in Israel either. I don't want war. I don't want these things. I don't want these things. Yes, exactly.
When I first came to Washington in 2017, one of the things we first talked about was the need to realign the Republican Party against neoconservatism and towards Trump foreign policy realism.
Correct. So it is absolutely a smear against some of the people who are the most outspoken against forever war. There's
not a single person that came out of that briefing, Republican or Democrat, who could have left with any rational mind that didn't agree with the assessment that I have. And, I think it sucks when you've got the truth on your side, but the lies make it around a lot faster. I know a little something about that. And so it was good to come set the record straight on that point.
Well, we really appreciate that. And quite frankly, it just shows how much power there is in people saying, stop spending money, stop spending my children's future on endless conflict. That has been the mile marker of my, I'm an older millennial, right? I was born in the 80s. There's like, how many years was America not at war in my life? I'm pushing 40, Matt. And we were at war. And what have we to show for it? A much poorer country, a country that is in shambles, roads that have potholes in them, and a more blight for my children's future.
And I think Gen Z's with us, right? Like, you don't think that there's like a neoconservative energy among Gen Z to go start a bunch of more wars, because it's a lot of their like older brothers and sisters, their aunts and uncles who are millennials, not us, but people of our generation who paid the price for these bonehead decisions in Washington from Republicans and Democrats.
This is what America First means. Critique. That's right. This is what America First means, spending our money here. This is why the mayor of Hamtramck, the majority Muslim town in Michigan, just endorsed Trump, even though he's a Democrat.
And that is not to say we're isolationists. We believe America should have friends, that we should have relationships with other countries. But we can't be the world's police force, and we can't be the world's piggy bank. Our relationships have to be based on our shared interests, not like us funding a gajillion-dollar State Department to go wave a pride flag in someone's face, like when they want to talk about where they're going to get their energy from. I think that foreign policy realism was such a hallmark of the Trump presidency, and I think it will be again.
Yeah, I want peace in our time. Like, I think it's important to I love the Kim Jong-un moment. I mean, I'm sorry, like I don't care what you say. Like, that's what we should. That's what virtually everyone that I speak with, and people on the left are also America First. I think it's amazing how much we all agree on when it comes to. So we went out and talked with the Hamas people, and it's like they also don't want us to spend hundreds of millions or billions of dollars on foreign conflict and death and carnage around the world. There's so much that we actually agree on in the America First movement. It'd be nice to see it expand. And quite frankly, like they're upset at the people who are expanding it outside of the controlled vectors of media consumption. And I think that's honestly why
I'm waiting for the Benny Johnson special on all of the badass Trump correspondence with foreign leaders. Like you can do Little Rocket Man and then the love letters. You could do when he told Erdogan he was going to totally destroy him if there was even a hair harmed on a single American's head.
Abu.
And then, you saw that. Oh yeah, you've got
Abu, why are you sending me my house? Abu, yeah. Why are you sending me my house? It's my house. We'll let you figure it out, Abu. That's
like the 40-minute Benny Johnson special America needs, is you walking through how Trump speaks alpha male to all of the world leaders and actually made the world peaceful. That's the headline. That's the punchline, is actually American blood wasn't being spilled. And that is the true job of the president. It's the job of all of our leaders.
It's such bullshit. And it's atrocious to be smeared, but it's also wonderful to see how desperate, people get to stop the truth from coming out. And that like makes you shout the truth all the more louder. Right. And I think that we are on the winning precipice here. I do want to, since you are such close allies with President Trump, ask you one or two quick follow-up questions about the state of the race, because I believe that Kamala Harris is trying to trick President Trump into another debate. Will President Trump do another debate with Kamala Harris?
No, I think Kamala Harris is desperate for another debate, because in the last debate, President Trump was talking about things like the economy and American decline and the problems created by an open border. And Kamala Harris was talking about things like the Central Park Five. And it was a lot more net in crowd sizes. It was a lot more nebulous in how she used her time. And I also think that the energy out of that first debate was Harris telling you that everything is awesome, everything is fine, we just need to keep going. And Trump saying, no, we're a nation in decline. We have to turn things around and do things better. Trump sees the mantle of the change candidate, and I think she's trying to get that back. I wouldn't give her that opportunity.
Yeah. So you would advise President Trump, like, don't. And we're looking at the polls right now. We're looking at the swing state polls. It's like there's not a single poll in Georgia or Arizona, and I think maybe only one in Nevada that shows Kamala Harris up. It's remarkable.
Look, we have to work really hard, and honestly, like we have to activate the young men in this country who watch your channel, who watch a lot of alternative media, to like pry themselves away from their gaming consoles long enough to go vote. And if like you're between 18, 35 and you're not out there, male or female, voting for Republicans, then you are signing up for a diminished future. And like we're out here fighting to save this country for you. You're the ones we're fighting for. So you have to be willing to fight for yourself and get out and vote for the type of economic prosperity where you'll be able to have a house. Don't you want to have a house? Benny has a house. And you'll never have a house if you don't change these interest rates. I'm guessing Benny bought his house when interest rates were low. But Gen Z is not going to have that opportunity if they do not get out and vote for the policies that will reduce prices and reduce interest rates. And only Trump represents that.
My entire production team is here in the studio. You can't see them, but they're like saying, yes, please. We want to have like nodding and saying it, but please.
Like, do you want to live in the container? I was seeing Amazon is selling like container ship pods now for houses. So for like $9,800, you can live in your pod and I guess eat your bugs and wait for your universal basic income check to live as a serf. And we're better than that. Our birthright as Americans is actually to be vigorous and ambitious and rich. We're allowed to be rich. And these policies, they want to ice them in, not just for 4 more years. They want to ice in these Biden policies for a generation. So get ready for a whole bunch of climate lectures and DEI seminars as your interest rates go up and your prospects for a future decline. That has to motivate people to vote.
So, no Trump. I mean, I would say no. So no Trump debate. Trump's going to continue doing what he's. I mean, they think what he's doing is working. That energy is really wild. The energy in Long Island this last week. But we're scared. I mean, honestly, this audience is scared for Trump, and there's a little prayer for Trump at the end of every show. As we're a little worried.
Well, by the way, the government's not going to sufficiently protect President Trump. We've seen that. How many more times do you need that? I worry that the air of invincibility of the Secret Service is pretty much gone at this point. And it is God's hand that has protected Trump over and over again. And so, yeah, that's not a throwaway line. I think that praying for President Trump's safety is critically important right now.
Were two of the domestic teams, Ryan Ralph and Thomas Crooks?
I do not believe Crooks was anywhere on the radar based on the evidence I've reviewed. Now, I'm open-minded, still going through stuff, but I have not seen evidence that suggests that Crooks was on the radar. And I don't know if the incident in Jupiter was someone associated with a domestic threat they were assessing, a Ukrainian-tied threat they were assessing, or something they weren't assessing at all. But we haven't gotten straight answers on those questions, which raises suspicion.
Commentary, because I like asking these questions because we'll see who was right 6 months from now. What should President Trump do to reform this system once in office?
Oh, it's the personnel. I mean, you have to go in and have an appointment strategy that is very front-loaded, very aggressive, and relentless. Because if we play some like appointments dance with like a future majority leader, John Thune or John Cornyn, then the Trump agenda will be on the slow boat to China. And so it is all about essentially front-loading a very effective, aggressive appointment strategy in the first 3 weeks.
Yes. DHS Director Chad Wolf will be joining the program soon. And so we sort of
Chad's working on that. I think Chad's actually one of the folks working on that.
Excellent. Always kind of a really, really excellent lead in. Matt, I don't think we have the clip available, but we just wanted to say, we haven't said this to you ever on air live, but your commentary, be offended. What do you think about that? Why are people, do we have the clip, Alec? What your comments are saying is offending a portion of the population. Be offended. Like, thank God somebody finally said it. We're like,
yeah,
so
I think we all have reason to be offended about something. So I give license to everyone. Be offended with anything I say. But, I just had an election. I got 73% of the vote. So I might even be getting some of the votes of among some of the offended. Who knows?
It's an amazing clip. We'll tweet it later with this embedded. And Matt, I wish more people followed your messaging. Quite frankly, from the GOP, if we think we'd have a very different party. Yeah.
Great being with you, man.
Godspeed, Congressman. Everyone follow Matt Gaetz. Obviously, you probably already are. 2.8 million Americans follow Matt Gaetz. On to great things. Arguably the most effective member of Congress currently serving. So thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Benny.
Oh, we got it. We got to play it. Load that up. Just real quickly, ladies and gentlemen, we got to play it. I hate doing that. I'm going to get a lecture from ALX after this. It's ALX. Gotta give me like 10 seconds to find the clip. But it is my favorite. It's my favorite Matt Gaetz clip ever. And it's only like 7 seconds long. ALX is already giving me a lecture in our production chat. Okay, here we go. Do we got it? All right, here we go. This is what I was talking about.
To say that based off of your comments, you're suggesting that these women at these abortion rallies are ugly and overweight?
Yes.
What do you say to people who think that those comments are offensive?
Be offended.
Mm-hmm. Be offended. Listen, the position should be, there's always going to be somebody who's going to be offended. You can't live a life, the gray matter. They want to turn you into gray matter. They want to turn you into a lifeless blob. And that's not living. Living is vitality and color and energy and the creation of the dust of the universe. We're made of that stuff, man. And you got to speak it. And when people smear you and slander you and come after you and lie about you, man, you got to absorb that energy and put all the more light and salt out into the universe. Oh, and it's a great life, actually, to live a life of vibrancy and color. They want to turn you into the gray sludge. Don't let them do it. Be offended. Oh, okay. Be offended. It's great. Maybe we should make a t-shirt with that on it. We'll wear it to our next Matt Gaetz rally. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. The great former acting director of Department of Homeland Security, very, very newsworthy department these days, Chad Wolf, joins the program live now. Chad, thank you so much for being on the show. Really appreciate your time. This is the most newsworthy department in all of America right now, and I guess we're on the heels of learning about bounties of $150,000 being put on President Trump's head, 5 roving assassination teams. I guess the question to start off with is, what the hell, man? Like, why doesn't Donald Trump have an entire brigade are staffing him at this point?
No, you're exactly right. And thanks for having me on. Look, the Secret Service obviously needs to do their protection detail a little differently. And instead of just assigning certain people because of whether they're a president currently or a former president, in President Trump's case, a certain amount of detail and a certain amount of protection, they need to make sure that it's threat-based. And obviously, President Trump is probably the most threatened individual, particularly here in the United States and under Secret Service protection. So his security package, what we call the bubble, should be reflective of that. And it certainly is not, right? They keep saying, well, it's similar to Vice President Harris's, or it's similar to the president's. It doesn't need to be similar. It needs to be the exact same because of the threats that he faces today. The second any assassination attempt should be evidence of that. It just doesn't seem like Secret Service is leaning in on this and really taking this seriously and saying, we've got to do better and we've got to do things differently. Instead, even if you see, hear the new acting director, it sounds like more of the same. And that's just not going to cut it.
I just can't. They call it a never fail mission, and you were in charge of that never fail mission. You were in charge of the Secret Service in your role, and I deign to think of what you would have done if you had seen the AGR building left unsecure 100 yards away from where the president is speaking, much less a fence line 80 yards away from where the president is speaking. We went to Butler, and then concurrently, then Ryan Routh being able to be within 300 yards of the president, just one shot away. These seem like systemic and now patterns of failures. What would you do if you were in charge of this, in charge of DHS right now?
Yeah, well, it'd be very differently. Obviously, the Secret Service director, did not. Well, first of all, she resigned weeks after Butler. She should have been fired probably the day after. So that's one thing I probably would have done a little differently. That is a no-fail mission, as you indicated, and they continue to fail, right? And it's just a magnitude of their failure. Shots get off in Butler. Shots don't get off in Palm Beach, but they could have, right? Just seconds later. So look, I think the Secret Service needs to look at this differently, and they need to understand that this is not how it's going to operate moving forward. And the President Trump, again, if you're just basing this on threats coming in, he is probably the most threatened individual in the United States. And so he should have a protection detail that is reflective of that. But again, that starts at the top. Secretary Mayorkas, as you indicated, because Secret Service is inside the department, can certainly do that.
So this could be done. Trump could be protected. They're choosing not to protect him?
Well, I think what they're trying to do, as far as I can tell from public reports, is they're trying to give him protection that is similar, but not exactly like President Biden. But of course, President Biden is not under the same number of threats, right? He's at the beach all day. So, President Trump is out and about with the American people. And so he is getting threatened. And we see this time and time again. So the assets, they need to really look hard at those assets that are protecting President Biden and move those internally within the service. They can do that. They can certainly do that with Secretary Mayorkas's blessing. They'll probably alert the White House and others, but they have the ability to move resources and agents around within the service to make sure that their protectees are being protected to the highest level that they need to be.
We saw a letter, a bounty that was put out this morning by the DOJ, which seems inexplicable to me, saying that there's big money in murdering President Trump, in assassinating President Trump. And that bounty letter, it seems astonishing to put that out. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. What's your take on this?
Yeah, obviously it came from a very sick individual. Why the Department of Justice released that, other than just being transparent, which we know they're not in most cases, I still would like to understand their reasoning for putting this out. I don't mind that they did. I think it's important for the American people to really understand what does that threat environment look like against President Trump. And you now see a letter that he's basically putting out to the world that says, finish the job. Anyone wants to finish the job, I've got money for him. So very, very disturbing on a variety of fronts. Secret Service, hopefully, obviously they know about the letter. They track these types of threats to the president and to former presidents. But it always is a question: how good are they doing their job? Complacency, being overworked in certain cases. This all leads to fatigue. But Secret Service they've got many missions, but they've got one mission under their protective services, and that's to make sure that their protectees are safe at all times. And that's either a pass-fail. And right now, it doesn't look very good as far as President Trump's and how they protect him.
Yes. This gunman apparently was interviewed by HSI at Homeland Security, and they asked, where's your money coming from? And there was no follow-ups. Same with the FBI. Got a tip that he had firearms and he was a felon, but then there was no follow-up. They could have stopped this guy a long time ago. He was known to these federal agencies as he was trying to get into the country and come back with all these strange sources of funding. He's unemployed. There's no explanation as to why he could offer somebody $150,000. It seems very strange to me.
No, I think that's right. Look, that's what the investigation will turn up. I hope that sometimes these investigations will just go on forever. They'll go on for 12 months. And I think it shouldn't be the case. And I've said this after Butler, and I'll say it again here in the Palm Beach incident. They need to get to work. They need to do the investigation quickly. They need to understand where there were deficiencies, and then they need to be transparent with the American public about what those are and how they're fixing them, because this is a crisis of people not believing in government institutions, and in this case, the Secret Service and others. And so if you want to build back that trust with the American people, you tell them what you did wrong and you tell them how they fixed it. Yes. And they're not transparent about that.
I'm not sure how many people listen, but we've seen the illegal border crossing numbers while you were in charge of DHS. You had that border secure. We think that's a ringing endorsement. If you were to be offered the secretary position again in a second Trump term, how would you change this organization? Because I got to be honest, sir, there's zero faith in the Secret Service. Right, the erosion in faith in Secret Service and Homeland Security is immense.
Yeah, absolutely. As we speak about the border, right? There's a number of agencies within the Department of Homeland Security that has control over that. Border Patrol is one, ICE is another, USCIS, and it keeps going on and on and on. I think you've got to do a number of things on day one. Whoever the new team is that hopefully will go in there in January of 25, there's a number of things that you've got to do. And it's most important that you're sending a message to the cartels and to the smugglers that it's not going to be business as usual, that we're going to hold people accountable. If they choose to break the law, we're going to prosecute them. We're going to remove them from the country. We're actually going to go back to enforcing immigration enforcement laws that are on this book. The Biden and Harris team has basically taken a pass for these past 4 years, and the numbers indicate that we have the highest illegal alien population that we have ever had in our country's history, and at the same time, we have the record low removals. So the folks know that if they get here, odds are they are staying here.
Wow. Well, we hope it changes. We hope you're part of that change. There's so much that's been just eroding of the public confidence. The Secret Service deleting their text messages after January 6th. It none of it locks in. None of it makes sense. And it'd be nice to trust the Secret Service again, right? It'd be nice to trust the team again.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And to just have some transparency there. But none of that can happen with destruction of evidence, right? Yeah.
Well, that's right. And I think none of that's going to happen as long as the chief executive is the same, right? Because leadership starts at the top, change starts at the top, and accountability starts at the top. And I'll go back to what former President Trump said during the last debate, which is no one is held accountable in this administration. And that is so true. And it has reverberations down the chain. And it certainly does at DHS.
Secretary Wolf at DHS cleaning house. We'd love to see it. Everybody follow the great secretary here, who is one of the few who actually really got the job done in Trump term 1. And we look forward to seeing you in Trump term 2, sir.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Godspeed. Crazy, man. What a crazy world we live in. How are we able to do multiple Trump assassination shows? I spoke with a member of our staff that came on board in the springtime, and I was like, well, we're talking through. We're doing. It's a big time to do a bunch of business and sort of get everything nicely structured for 2025. And I was like, who would have thought, man? Who would have thought? Joined the team in May, and then right after May, like, boom, Trump assassination, Biden debates, Biden drops out, assassination number 2. It's been wild. It's been a wild, wild time. But I got to tell you, there's a reason. We started the show by saying this. There's a reason why they are resorting to these extremes. And the reason is that President Trump is winning. Kamala Harris is trailing. And I know that but Benny, Kamala is up 5 nationally. She's up 5. Oh, really? Did you read the crosstabs? Did you read that they're only polling people in New York and California, and they're over-indexing Democrats by 25% in those polls in order to get that result? Kamala Harris groveling, begging on her hands and knees this weekend, begging for another debate. President Trump giving her the 2 fingers dipped into kerosene, light him on fire. Good. I'm going to actively agitate against another debate. We talked about those gates. I'm going to actively. It's rigged, man. It's rigged. And actually, President Trump, instead of doing the last debate, should have just done another Spaces with Elon Musk. Come on, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Just do Rogan. Just go on Rogan for 4 hours. Trump could do it. Kamala would never. Just do it. Just do it. Just go on Gutfeld again. Do an entire week of Gutfeld instead of doing one more debate with Kamala Harris. The dirty tricks are the only way that they can win. Here we go. Some wild polling here out of New York Times. Siena. President Trump up 5 in Arizona. Up in North Carolina. Up 4 in Georgia. Dude, you win Arizona, North Carolina, and Georgia, you've won the presidency. Boom. Boom. Real clear politics. All battlegrounds. Donald Trump is now up in the battlegrounds. Up in all battlegrounds or within the margin of error. Trump and Kamala Harris is up 5 nationally. Who the hell cares? I'll tell you what. We're in the red state of Florida. We're in Florida where you can wear a Trump hat. No one's going to come after you. You can walk around the street with a MAGA hat on. Dude, nothing's going to happen to you. People are going to say, what up? Fist bump you. We're going to do something, actually. We're going to do a really fun video where we're going to go to the hood and we're going to go in the Trump mobile, the MAGA mobile for this rapper, Forgiato Blow. He has his MAGA mobile. We're going to go there. We're going to hand out Trump hats. We're going to show you exactly the reaction. We're going to hand out Trump hats, and we're going to show you what happens when you go to the hood and hand out Trump hats in a MAGA mobile. It's going to be awesome. Even here, though, in this state, you get people saying, I don't want to be on camera saying I back Donald Trump. And I get that. That's just the badgering and boxing of the ears of like the corporate media machine. There is such a deep, I'm sure you've seen this. There's such a deep well of President Trump support that is silent, that will be voting for Donald Trump, that is quiet about it. We're loud about it. There are tens of millions who would never say it on camera, who would never tweet about it, but who are going to be voting for President Trump with all they got. And now the polls are reflecting that. This is how bad Kamala Harris is doing. Kamala Harris is doing worse than Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton combined with all the propaganda, with everything rigged in her favor, with Joe Biden pretty much just handing her the Iron Throne without her having to lift a finger. And she's still collapsing. The number of battleground polls, check this out, from Tom Bevan. The different way of viewing the race. If you go through the Real Clear Politics battleground state averages, here are the number of polls that Kamala Harris leads in. 0 in Arizona, 0 in Georgia, only 2 in Nevada, only 3 in North Carolina out of 9, only 4 in Pennsylvania out of 12. Michigan, she splits the difference with Trump. Wisconsin is the only state where she has a slight advantage in polls, 6 out of 9 in Wisconsin. Wisconsin is going to be one of those states that's going to be really hard to poll. Because Wisconsin is one of those states where it's all shucks. My parents used to live in Wisconsin. It's all shucks. Everyone's going to go in and cast their ballots for Trump, and they're going to do it quietly. And then they're going to go home. They're going to eat some cheese, drink some beer, and make America cheesy again. Wisconsin, man, I'm telling you, look at this. We've been telling you. Trust on the issues. Let's go ahead and check in. President Trump, trust on the issues. Securing the border. Trump, 50. Trump up 20 points on Kamala, securing the border, of course. The economy, Trump up 10 points on Kamala, of course. Crime, Trump up 7 points on Kamala. This is from NBC. So add 20 points to Trump on that if you had a real poll. Do you know that Donald Trump is within the margin of error in Minnesota? Donald Trump in Minnesota. Kamala Harris has a +5 in Minnesota. Kamala Harris's running mate is the governor of Minnesota. And Donald Trump is within the margin of error, 7% undecided. This is from the Minnesota Star Tribune. This is like a Soviet paper. It's like a socialist paper run out of Minneapolis by Marxists. And President Trump is in what couldn't be considered a dead heat in Minnesota. Whoa. Wow. Independence in Minnesota, by the way, also breaking Trump. Isn't that amazing? Dude, isn't that incredible? And also some pretty wild polling out of Ohio. You have Bernie Moreno, which would be a massive pickup, now polling ahead of Sherrod Brown. Remarkable. Bernie Moreno is the Trump-backed candidate, Senate. Hey, Alex, let's see if we can't get him on the program sometime this week. I'd love to introduce the audience to him. He's a spectacular individual, very close with some of our closest friends like Don Jr. and Vivek. They speak very, very highly of him. I've never met him. So let's see if we can get him on the show this week. Get him on the stream. Bernie Moreno, the man. Now, that would be a huge pickup. Huge pickup in Ohio to grab that Senate seat. Kamala is trailing with Hispanics. Si se puede, right? To quote Jill Biden. Kamala Harris is trailing with Hispanics. A remarkable, remarkable moment here that dovetails into something pretty exciting that's happening in Michigan. Here we go.
A 30-plus point advantage for Joe Biden in the exit polls among Latino voters from 4 years ago. Hillary Clinton won Latino voters by 40 points. And, of course, she still lost the presidency. So there's some real ground to make up across demographics, but particularly with Latino voters. Kamala Harris has some issues that she's got to attend to.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, there's only 70 million Latino voters in the country. I'm sure they're very excited to have an economy that is in total collapse, have gas above $3 a gallon for the last 4 years. Do we have that clip of Tim Walz? Give me that clip of Tim Walz. We have it. Of course we have it. Right, Alex? No way we missed that one. Tim Walz, we can't take 4 more years of this. Of course we got it, right? Okay, where is it? Where is it? This is amazing. This is incredible. Tim Walz's own campaign. Tim Walz now endorsing Donald Trump. Tim Walz endorsing President Trump for president, which is really, really exciting. Didn't know that we'd be able to have such a white pill on the show, but here we go.
We can't afford 4 more years of this.
It's you, right? Yeah, you're in charge, right? Your party's been in charge for 12 of the last 18 years in this country. So pretty much all of the entire shambles that America finds itself in now is your fault. How are you going to fix you? The therapist asks. I'm no good at being a therapist. I would very much like to put, though, Tim Walz on a couch. I'd like to maybe not a couch in a horse stable or anything like that, but put him and Kamala on a couch. They'd be very different couches. You know what I mean? But send them to a therapist couch at an election. We are so close on November, the night of November 5. We are so close to sending the two of these to couches for the rest of their lives, having them cry, the tears. Oh, it will be so delicious. So a Democrat called into C-SPAN. It's a pretty exciting moment. Democrat called into C-SPAN and says that when they close their eyes, they see President Trump being president again, and how wonderful it is. And this is an only on C-SPAN moment, an amazing admission by somebody who's an honest Democrat. And we have more of it here. Check this out.
Roger in Kansas on the line for Democrats. Good morning, Roger.
Yes, I have where my main issue, I'm going to close my eyes, and then I'm going to vote for closed borders. I'm going to vote for less taxes, I'm going to vote for more reasonable energy costs. And if you vote, close your eyes and vote that way, it's a pretty simple choice because both candidates have a history. So you just vote on that, and I don't have to tell you who I'm voting for.
This is what I found in the streets. So you have these voters who refuse to say that they are President Trump voters. That's okay. We don't need everybody out there wearing a MAGA hat. We don't need it. By the end of the next 4 years, you'll have it, right? You'll have entire football stadiums filled with MAGA hats. You already have that virtually now. But what we find consistently out in the streets, and we went out on Saturday night to like the big party area of Tampa. I can't wait. I cannot wait for you're not going to believe it. There's a place in Tampa that has all these clubs and all these bars called Ybor City. And we went out and we took a giant, get the photo. We took a giant photo. We took a cardboard cutout of Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And we brought these massive cardboard cutouts. Actually, not massive. Kamala Harris is teeny. They're life-size cardboard cutouts. We just asked the people who were out partying what they thought. Hey, what'd you think? What do you think of these guys? And it's amazing. The responses are incredible. Here's what you find. What you find. Look at this. It's Eric and Klein. There we go. There's Killer Klein right there. And Eric. And we were out. And here's what you find. You find that there are. What do we find, Killer Klein? We found that there's like this huge energy of people who are just silent Trump voters. They're silent, all ages, silent Trump voters. We almost started a brawl in a line for a black club. There's like a nightclub, like an urban nightclub, and the line, you had like these people in line. And it was predominantly a black group of club goers. And they were like, the number of people that said Trump in that line is insane. Some middle fingers. Yeah. People like, getting physical. Holy smokes. Wait till you see this product. Wait till you see this content. Hey man, don't get mad at me. This is just your fellow Americans talking. Don't be upset that your fellow Americans have an opinion, right? They're entitled to it. It's wild. Wait till you see it. We did this in Washington, D.C., where we went around Washington, D.C., and we spoke with black voters. And we spoke with black voters. And dude, like we found a ton of people that supported Trump and not a lot who supported Kamala. In fact, a lot of people didn't know who Kamala was. If you ask the name Harris, if you say, hey, are you voting for Harris? They go, who? Huh? Yeah. They're trying to do the Obama magic wand thing. It's not going to work, dude. It's not going to work. Meanwhile, President Trump leaning into where he does best. Stay away from the rigged debates. Do more of this. Here's President Trump in North Carolina with his grandchildren. Vote for Grandpa. Heartwarming. Let's go.
Vote for Grandpa.
Oh. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, honey. Great job. So cute. Oh, he doesn't want to get off the stage. Oh, wow. Look at that. He's got the gene.
Trump wearing the 45-47 cap. The absolute riz on this guy. Trump brings granddaughter on stage. More of this. More of Grandpa Trump. Do it with me. Grandpa Trump. Grandpa Trump. Grandpa Trump. Go.
Make America great again.
That was great, honey. I can see the new senator when Ted someday, he's going to say, sir, I've had it. I can't do it any longer. He's going to resign or leave, and we're going to have Carolina get in there and run.
Amazing. The Trump dynasty. The Trump dynasty rolling on. President Trump also saying this past weekend that he doesn't think that he's going to run again in 2028. I mean, he would be quite old, right? You'd be in his 80s, be 80, 83, 84. Saying that this is our shot. This is our shot. Very, very motivating. We love this Trump energy. This is our shot. Here we go.
And then, if you're not successful this time, do you see yourself running again in 4 years?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I think that will be it. I don't see that at all. I think that hopefully we're going to be successful.
Mr. President, thank you for the interview. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So remember what's at stake. So know that this is our chance. This is our chance to cement the America First movement, the MAGA movement, officially and forever into American politics. Don't you want that? Isn't it important to not be leveraging and selling off the treasures of this nation to forever war, to countries that hate us, to people that hate us? And by people that hate us, I'm not talking about a Guatemalan. I'm talking about our own elites. I'm talking about American, the leaders of this country who are despicable, who inherited the greatest country on earth and have done everything they can to wreck it out of spite because you don't like them and because you called them out and you didn't put the bit in your mouth and become a slave. And they can't stand that. They hate you because of it. And it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for us to officially say we are finished with the system and scrape it from the face of the earth. This system of having people who hate you running your nation. We're done with it. We're done. We are Native Americans. We're born here, right? Or even if you weren't born here, if you're an immigrant that comes to this country that loves this place and came here legally and immigrated and did your class, you probably know more than your average high school graduate about America. If you do your naturalization class, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the country. We want leaders who actually prioritize those people instead of their own power and instead of other nations that hate us. And that brings us along nicely to the people who clearly hate you because, well, they think you're stupid, think you're dumb. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the newest Kamala Harris accent. We've talked about this phenomenon for quite a while. What does it say? What does it say about the speaker with the microphone if they continually lie to their audience, if they continue to pander to their audience with fake accents, which I refuse to do on the show. I'm not really that great at impressions. I try and I fail. Like, what would it say if I used a fake accent on this program to try and reel in the stupidest possible people that think I actually talk like that? It says very much about me. It says that I don't have a soul. It says I don't have a sense of being. I'm not a person, right, that you should trust because I'm empty on the inside and I'm untrustworthy. I don't even know who I am. I'm insecure. That's what it says about me if I would do that. And it also says that I hate you. It says that I think you're stupid. And so Kamala Harris unveils a brand new accent this weekend. Yeah, we got our cringe alert. And yeah, let's do the new accent, clip J here, and then we'll do the accent supercut in the full cringe alert. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We got a cringe alert. We got a cringe alert, and then I want you to get your salt shakers ready because we're gonna salt the lib right after this. But here's our cringe alert for the day: Kamala Harris's brand new accent, plus all of her other exciting accents. Here we go.
Brother, we are not going back. We are not going back. We are not going back. I love you back. Hello to all my divine nine brothers and sisters. And my soror. And to all my HBCU brothers and sisters. As my friend Quavo would say, he does not walk it like he talks it. Everywhere I go, I tell people, look, you may not be a union member. You better thank a union member.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, man. You get the point. Union member. We really appreciate you supporting the show. I'll tell you what I want to do. Here's what I want to do. I want to go to Kamala Harris's hometown, which is not an American place. It is a Canadian place, actually. The place where Kamala Harris was really raised, right? Where she like went to school and college and graduated high school. I mean, these are the places where you really, really have roots. And this is in Montreal, actually, in a leafy suburb of Montreal. I want to go there. I want to interview people on the street. And I want to see if I can find that accent. I'm going to go really hard. I'm going to bring an iPad. I want to bring a giant iPad. We'll see. There's so much to do. But I want to bring a giant iPad. Would you love for me to do that? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Producers, watch the chat. Let me know in the chat. I bring an iPad and I go through the people of Montreal, the ones who speak English, not French, and even the French ones. And I'm like, hey, does this sound like an accent from Montreal? You better thank the union member. You better thank the union member. 2025. Oh, I love you back. I love you back. No, that's what I want to do. Will that be fun? That'd be really fun. Boys, we should book a trip. We'll book a ticket to Montreal. I'm sure it's beautiful this time of year. Go to Montreal. I think we owe it to. I think we owe it to the chat. I think we owe it to the chat. Man, we love the chat. Okay, so Kamala Harris. I have this one. This is so fun. This one is so good. I'm not sure. Is it long enough to be Assault That Lib? Oh man, it's only 7 seconds. All right, fine. So well, we'll take the salt anyway. We'll take the salt anyway. Goodness gracious. I want to salt that lib every single show up until the election. Nice big salty libs. Joe Scarborough was all salty this morning. I'm going to salt him. All right. Well, here we go. Kamala Harris saying she's really looking forward to another debate with the vice president. Trump was never vice president. Kamala Harris is below average IQ. That's what you can assume from this. Here's our Salt That Lib. It's a short one. Maybe we'll loop it. Here we go.
Another debate, so I'm hoping the former vice president will agree to that. So we have a lot more to discuss.
I'm hoping the vice president will agree to that. Hoping the vice president will agree to that. I know it's hard to hear with a plane behind her. They do that on purpose, by the way. They make her stand by a jet engine. You know, she's in a car. She's all over the place. Expect to see more of Camilla. Expect to see more of Queen Camilla. There's a very interesting fact check on Queen Camilla saying she's going to shoot people. I'm going to shoot people. Yeah, okay. So Queen Camilla said on her Oprah interview, and ALS, can we grab that? Can we grab that the teleprompter? I know. It's probably Oprah's teleprompter, but there was a massive teleprompter in the shot. So Kamala Harris did this cringe Oprah thing that we covered last week. And there's massive teleprompter in the shot. And many were saying that Kamala Harris was using a teleprompter effectively for this interview. Now, I think it's probably just probably like Oprah's teleprompter. This is relatively normative, but anyway, it's very interesting. There are also people. Hey, Alex, grab one of those participants. The participants in the Oprah town hall saying they don't actually support Kamala Harris. That it's all fake. That they weren't there to support Kamala. It's all fake. Oh, there it is. Okay, climb, pop it up, baby. Check this out. So you can see the massive prompter there. You see Kamala and Oprah. Someone was filming from the audience showing the monster prompter, clear as day, can read right from it. Was Kamala reading the lines? I will offer a reward of 1 Chick-fil-A sandwich per day that I will have Uber Eats brought to your house at the full expense of the Benny Show. If anybody from the audience can show me Kamala Harris reading from the prompter. Was Kamala Harris's answers on prompter? Was this why Kamala Harris had to perpetually look away from the audience member? Get me one of those clips. Kamala Harris perpetually having to look away, like not making eye contact. I do the entire show right here, right? Because it's you know people are not telling the truth or they're lying when they look up or when they look down. Kamala Harris perpetually looking down or looking up during this interview. But generally looking down, which means she's lying. Very interesting. What was one of the things that Kamala Harris lied about? Oh, baby. Here's our Spikes Tactical Monday Gun Day. Let's go.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun. I did not know that. If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, I hear that. I hear that.
Probably should not have said that. But my staff will deal with that later.
Oh, interesting. We played that clip last week. Kamala Harris giggling with Oprah. Not sure if that was on the teleprompter or not. Giggling with Oprah about how she's going to tee-hee-hee shoot someone if they come into her house. And this is how you know that Kamala Harris's poll numbers are collapsing in North Carolina and Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin. This is how you know that she's in desperation mode. Kamala Harris doesn't just say those things. Kamala Harris was trying to appeal to gun owners. Yet we have hours of clips of Kamala Harris saying she wants to ban your Second Amendment, saying that she wants to ban the use of firearms, calling, in fact, stand your ground laws racist. Now, so stand your ground law, like we have here in Florida, sometimes called the Castle Doctrine, is that you have not only a right, but an obligation under the Second Amendment to protect yourself, your home, your privacy. That is the purpose of the Second Amendment, that evil individuals cannot invade your home and take what is yours. This is why the Johnson household, not to give up too much information, but is stacked safely and securely to the brim with Spike's Tactical AR-15s, which is an excellent self-defense weapon. We have that law here in Florida. Like, if you value your life, don't break into my house. Because you know what will happen in this state with these stand your ground laws that Kamala Harris just described? Tee-hee-hee. If somebody comes in my house, you're going to get shot. Well, I kind of agree with you, Kamala. That is the way it should work in this country. Unfortunately, in places where I used to live, like in Washington, D.C., they have these sick laws where you actually have to prove that you've retreated. You have an obligation to retreat. This is actually written and hard-coded into the laws of Washington, D.C. So before you can engage somebody in your home, you have to prove that they have a deadly weapon. You have an obligation to retreat. You have to retreat out windows. You have to retreat away from the intruder in your house. You can't confront them. You have to run away. You have to prove, to keep yourself out of jail, you have to prove that you ran away and crawled out the windows and crawled out the door and crawled away from your intruder before you can ever engage them. This is a world of them wanting you to grovel and live on your knees. And you know who supported those laws? Kamala Harris. You know who called the same thing she just tee-hee-hee giggled about with Oprah on air? You know what she called those laws, stand your ground laws? She called them racist. Here we go.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, and I have personally prosecuted a number of cases and kinds of cases. These stand your ground laws and these states that have these citizen arrest laws have often and frequently been used as an excuse, if not a cover, for people who are motivated by racism and racial profiling. And so we have seen that, and we have seen that it has been used as an excuse to kill Black and brown people, in particular Black and brown young men. And we just have to speak truth about that, no matter how uncomfortable it makes us.
Oh, she's so fake. Oh, it's so fake. It's completely grotesque. Kamala Harris is someone, you know this person. You know who this person is. Just a deeply insecure person who has no sense of who she is, who has no sense of what she stands for, who will say and do anything to gain more power. We call her a power gobbler. And that is what she is. So she called the very thing that she giggled about with Oprah racist. Baby. No. Make sure that your home is defended. Make sure that you are stocked and staffed to defend yourself. And I don't, quite frankly, you under the Second Amendment, it is your obligation. The founders give it to you. The founders hand it to you. It is your obligation to make sure that you can defend yourself. Spike's tactical AR-15, of course, is the self-defense weapon of the Johnson household. And that's our Monday Gun Day. See this. You're going to love this. This is a TikToker who hops on and says, it's all fake. This Kamala Harris Oprah thing, I don't support Kamala Harris. This isn't real. These people in the audience, they don't support Kamala Harris. So they have people in the audience. You can show let's show like this. You can see this video of like the number of people in the audience right here. Okay. So here's Kamala Harris. Here's an example of Kamala Harris word salad and Kamala Harris being incapable of making eye contact with a voter. Here we go.
We really would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Okay, so I want to stop here by showing you, you see this studio audience, probably maybe 100 people in the studio audience, all right? And then you see sort of there's like a digital audience up there. And then you have, Mr. Low T, Mr. Critically Low T, sitting there with his wife, asking Kamala Harris a question about how unaffordable their lives are. Well, you're asking the lady who's been in charge for the last 4 years.
For the cost of living.
Yeah. First of all, thank you both for being here. And yours is a...
Watch her. You don't even need to hear the answer. I'm going to mute Kamala, okay? Because you don't even need to hear the answer. Feel free to, you can go find it. Look at the body language. She's not telling the truth. Look at the way she speaks. She's staring down at the ground. She's making far more eye contact with the floor than she is with the actual principals there. That's how you know the entire thing is a lie and a setup. And now we actually know this. Check this out from one of the attendees.
4 seconds of fame on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and of all people to be her guest, let me show you who it was.
18 to 34 say that the cost of living
so there she is
their top
in the corner
issue
as an audience member.
Election. Let's take a look. Groceries are extremely expensive right now.
I don't understand how people are affording life right now. Do I look good? Okay. To my Americans, let me make something perfectly clear, okay? I do not support Harris for president, okay? I want to be unburdened by who has been in the White House the last 3.5 years, okay? As I stand here today, on this stage, standing on this stage today, the day after yesterday, I just want you to know, okay, how I stand. And how I stand today is that I do not support Harris for president. Okay? Okay. All right, cut. Did I do good? Barney, you gave me the questions 72 hours ago. I was able to practice those, okay? Now go get my makeup so I can clear up my freaking face.
Oh my God. Dude, not only did she say that she doesn't support Kamala Harris, she's a savage impression of Kamala Harris. We've also had something that we've covered on this program before, that Kamala Harris is fake, that her campaign support is fake, and that her supporters get bussed in. Now I've spoken with James O'Keefe, and I've spoken with some of the better investigative reporters that we know. I was like, you got to get on one of those buses. You got to show us, like, how does Kamala Harris get, like, she gets like 10,000 people from Atlanta, allegedly, to be bussed up to her North Carolina rally. It's all fake. Fugazi. It's not real. This is a not real candidate. Well, you're starting to see little cracks in the facade here, where the campaign, there are people who are alleging that the campaign is paying individuals that they know to be fake Kamala support, to travel around. So travel around to support Kamala Harris. They're getting paid real hard cash to be like permanent Kamala support. And well, like, it'd be very interesting to go to these rallies and see who you see at every single rally. Like, if you see the same person at every rally in different states. Check this out. This went viral this weekend.
So I just left my nail salon, and my nail tech, I've been going there for 15 years, so they're like family to me. But they said that their one cousin is in South Philly, and listen to this. She is getting paid $700 a week to go to wherever Kamala's campaign tells them to go to. So it's $100 a day, $700 a week. And she's not even a citizen. She can't vote. but she wants that extra money, so that's why she's doing it. So their campaign is getting a bunch of people. That's why you see these people on the side of the roads with signs or whatever, going to these protests. They get travel paid for and everything, and they're not even able to vote. So they're just standing there with signs for no fucking reason for $100 a day. I can't. I had to share with you guys.
So they're getting paid. So her nail salon people getting an hourly wage from Kamala Harris to go and be, we call it astroturfed. Very interesting. Very interesting. We should see if we can have either of those two women on the program. I would love to hear more. Yeah. So what nail salon do you get your nails done at? Maybe we can go do a little research ourselves. Find the fake Kamala Harris. That's the story I want to be blown out of the water by James O'Keefe. Get on one of those buses. Let's crack this open. We know that this is fake. We know it's fake. We know it's not real. We see what happens when Kamala Harris goes and speaks at rallies that have not been pre-produced by Hollywood executives. We've seen what happened. We see how embarrassing it is. One particular rally in Philadelphia that is so egregious, where Kamala Harris and Joe Biden together were inside of a gymnasium of, I think it was a high school or like a small college there in Philadelphia, and they couldn't fill the quarter of the gymnasium. They had to truncate, they had to crunch down the event into like a small corner, and then allegedly they had to offer the kids at the school extra credit to go attend. So this is how they actually packed events. That was a month before the hot swap with Kamala Harris. That was a month before the coup. We have the footage. We have the videos. Alex, got it or no? Okay. All right. Yeah, there it is. There you go. Well, they see. Boom. Here it is. Look at that. That's just a typical size gymnasium. You see the basketball hoop and everything. This is with Kamala Harris on stage. It's not real. I think it's ironic that you can see only her name there, and the Biden name has been X'd out by the, yeah, that's right, by the hoop. This is with them on stage. Look at the bike racks there, right? Look at the bike racks there. Look, we're gonna have so many people. We better get online. More people in line, more drunks in line at Chick-fil-A on Sunday morning, right? Yeah, then show up here. When are they open? Yeah. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, so that's fake support. That's not fake. That's fake support. Let's look at what's not fake on a feel-good note. Here to end the show, Donald Trump on Muslim Democrat mayor endorsement. Under my administration, he saw a world that was at peace. There's a place called Hamtramck. Sorry about that. Hamtramck. Sorry, it's a unique name. Maybe it's an Indian name. I'm not sure. Hamtramck, Michigan. That is the correct pronunciation. This is one of the few, if not maybe the only, Muslim majority city in America. We actually went there a couple of months ago and did a man on the street interview. So we'll be producing that, and we'll be putting that up on our new Benny on the Block channel. Make sure that you stay tuned to that space today. Donald Trump, Muslim mayor of the only Muslim majority town in America. This mayor, who is a Democrat, endorses President Trump. And this is what we found. We actually sat outside of a mosque in this town for our story. We sat outside of a mosque. And I'm really glad that we waited, ALX, to publish this, because now it's like very newsworthy. This is being edited right now. Hopefully it will be up today. This is what the mayor said. The mayor's name is Amir Ghalib. Amir Ghalib. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Let me be clear. So our expectations are realistic. President Trump and I may not agree on everything, but I know that he's a man of principles. Though it's looking good, he may or may not win the election, 47th president of the United States, but I believe that he is the right choice for this critical time, and I do not regret my decision, no matter what the outcomes will be. I'm ready to face the consequences. For this and for many other reasons, I announce my support and endorsement of the former and hopefully the next president of the United States, Donald Trump. Now let the caravan begin its journey. It's just the starting point, says Mayor Ghalib of Hamtramck. Hamtramck was a beautiful city people are moving into Hamtramck because it is safe and because it is a secure and peaceful town. And this is something that I've like been talking with my wife a lot. Like, who is my actual enemy? My actual enemy, my true enemy, is the godless authoritarian who does not believe in a higher power. If you believe in a higher power, I'm not going to, maybe years down the road, and sit with Jordan Peterson or whatever, and you just talk about, Muslims and Jews and Christians and all the fighting and whatever. Don't care about that right now. What I actually care about right now is if you believe that there is a higher power, higher authority, and a moral authority in this universe that demands that we live moral lives, and that there is a power greater than the government, then you're on my side. And I will fight with you. I will link my arms with you, and I will fight alongside you. Because you and I can at the very least align with a worldview that says our lives matter, our children's lives matter. We are not just pointless dust. This isn't just all happening by happening. Like, I can align with you. I can lock in with you. It was very neat standing outside of a mosque in Hamtramck, Michigan. So many people came up to us and like chatted with us about our channel. Like they were like recognized us in our channel. And I was like, there are like universal truths here that are good, and you should try your best to like actually align on the truths the things that you agree with, and start there. Start with the things you agree with. They're obsessed with like going after us and trying to divide us all with the things we disagree with. Start with things you agree with, and you'll find that you agree with like 90% of the country agrees on the big things, the moral principle stuff. And so my enemy is actually the godless atheist. My enemy is the godless Marxist who believes that they are God and that our lives don't matter and that we're just numbers, and my children are just numbers, and your children and grandchildren or future children are just numbers on a ledger. Gray sludge, meaningless gray sludge, and that none of it matters, and all that there is the assumption of power. Using the state to assume power and trot on our rights. That's how these people think. They're my enemy. Because it's actually immoral. That's not the design of the universe. It is blasphemous. And I will link arms with those who can like humble themselves and bow their heads and say there is a God, and that the US government is not like the sole arbiter of right and wrong in the universe. Yeah. That's the vibe. Okay. And I think the older I get, and I think the more I like sort of see the landscape as it is, that's what they're truly fighting against. They hate moral people, and it's wonderful. I celebrate, along with President Trump, this Muslim mayor endorsing him. Remember, with President Trump, you had peace. With President Trump, you had peace breaking out around the world instead of war. It's a beautiful thing, and I think people from war-torn places want peace more than these war-torn places want peace more than anything. Ladies and gentlemen, please subscribe to our new channels. Benny on the Block. We published our first Benny on the Block video this weekend. We will be filming our Benny Brews starting this next weekend. We're going to be doing a little bit of travel, I think. And we're going to be locking in like long-form interviews for Benny Brews. Long-form cool interviews with people that really have a lot to say. Because sometimes on the show, like with Chad Wolf, we only have like 10 minutes, right? And you can barely get into anything in 10. You can barely say how you doing in 10 minutes. And we always want to talk more. Like I get to talk to Matt Gaetz for like the next 3 hours, right? Like about what's going on. And so that, and then Benny on the Block, dude. You want to subscribe to this channel? We have some heaters coming up. Wait till you see what we did this weekend. It's really exciting. So linked in the description. And our verse of the day today. Do we want to just toss? Do we want to end with the man on the street? Why not? Why just pop it up? Let's do it. Verse of the day. Let's load that sucker up. Verse of the day. 2 are better than 1. This is from Ecclesiastes. Ooh, Ecclesiastes. Okay. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. If either fails, one can help the other up. Pity anybody who falls and has no one to help them up. I'll tell you what, like it is so inspiring, this movement. And we're starting to see like the strength, like The reason why they hate us, the reason why they come for independent journalism, is that we don't actually live along rigid ideological lines. I celebrate the Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi's friend of the show. She's been on the show. I celebrate the RFK and Nicole Shanahan endorsements. It's good to have strength. It's good to have like people at your side, brethren who can march with you. It's positive. It's a beautiful thing. It's horrible to be alone and to be also like live inside of a vengeful existence where nobody's willing to help you. Nobody's willing to extend a hand. This is why it's very interesting. We don't have time to pull up the numbers right now, but if you want to see like which movement is a moral movement, since we're going to talk about this at the end of the show, if you want to see which movement is a moral movement, why don't you go ahead and check in on the donations. Check in on like the philanthropy. You'll find that broken out by party, the only people that are even remotely generous in this nation are conservatives. You'd think it'd be the opposite, right? Since bleeding heart liberals are always mewling and bitching about how victimized and poor people are. But by the numbers, by the actual donation numbers, it's only Republicans that ever donate to anything or ever like give money to causes. It's only Republicans. Liberals like box about the ears corporations to do the giving for them. They never reach into their own pockets, do they? They never reach into it never hurts them, does it? The classic Marxist. Classic makes somebody else pay, right? That's how it works. No, like we are a group of people that hold each other up and are willing to actually like reach out and do the work. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a beautiful thing. That is our verse of the day. Here is our why not? Here's what we found when we went to the University of Tampa. This is the man on the street content that we're going to be doing. We're going to do one video per week. Ooh, it's going to be exciting. We got that energy, and we're going to win. It's your boy Benny. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We'll see you tomorrow. Now let's hit the streets. For Kamala.
My opinion is not open to the public.
So, Trump. There you go. Okay, got it. All right, boys. Trump or Kamala? What do you think?
Trump. Trump 2024. Trump. If he ain't dead, I'm voting red.
I'm voting Trump.
Two-time assassination attempt survivor.
I know, it's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Bulletproof.
Hella aura right there.
That's a hella
so
aura.
Much aura. So much aura.
Oh. Trump or Kamala Harris?
Trump.
Kamala.
Trump fan right here. Big Trump fan. She loves Trump.
This is great. This is going to be a long-lasting relationship. Two-time assassination attempt survivor.
People try to kill him because he's right. I mean, what can I say? He's speaking the truth.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
What do you think, man? Trump or Kamala?
Oh, Trump. Trump 24.
Yeah.
Probably Trump. Definitely more Trump.
Trump, of course. Trump.
All the way.
Trump.
All
Yes.
the way. Yeah.
Yes. Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
Trump or Kamala? Trump. That's right. You know the guy's got the red tie. He's going to go for Trump. The guy with the red tie is going to go Trump. Trump or Kamala, 2024.
What kind of question is that? You know who it is.
It's Trump. Kids are all right, man. So there's no First Amendment here?
What's going on?
Yo, what's up, guys? This is Benny. We're here at the University of Tampa asking what they think of Warrior Donald Trump, two-time assassination attempt survivor. The aura is real. Let's go find out.
Yeah.
Trump or Kamala?
Trump or who?
Trump or Kamala Harris?
Dude, I got Kanye. Yeah, what's good? I'm with my boy Kanye. Yeah, at this point, I got Kanye.
You know what? That's respectable. Kanye wore a MAGA hat at the White House, so.
I love this guy right here.
Trump or Kamala?
Oh, Trump, of course.
Yeah, 2024.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Two-time assassination attempt survivor.
It's crazy, man, what they're trying to do to him. It's crazy. Got to keep him in there. Got to keep him alive. Save the country.
Trump or Kamala? What are you thinking, man? Trump. Yes. Yes. What's your number one reason?
I want my money back, really. I lost too much money this past 4 years, man. It'd be great to have back.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Kamala, what do you think, man? Trump or Kamala?
Oh, Trump. Trump 24.
Yeah.
Probably Trump. Definitely more Trump.
Trump.
Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
Trump, let's go.
Well, what are we thinking? Trump or Kamala? And he's got a mullet, so I think probably Trump. Who are you going with? Trump. Yeah, why is that?
He has better policies.
Yes.
She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat.
Who you got?
Trump.
Oh, yeah. You a bodybuilder?
I I'm into fitness and health, so I post a lot of content, but Trump and biceps by Brit.
Nice. Okay, done. To keep America healthy again.
Yeah, obviously.
Right, for RFK.
Yeah, of course.
That's right. Nice. Keep America healthy again. Nice. Got our first Maha. Why Trump?
Kamala spreads a lot of lies. Yeah. I would rather vote for someone that I can trust.
And I want the fucking economy up all the way. Kamala's gonna fucking stomp on that shit.
That is called Bidenomics, and we are very proud of Bidenomics.
Two-time assassination attempt survivor.
He has that dog in him.
They got that dog in him. They wouldn't be trying to kill him if he wasn't effective, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, shout out to Benny.
Thank you, boys.
Shout out right there.
All right. Kids are all right, man.
Because of that, you don't have the right to actually...
Okay, so we'll stand on the sidewalk.
You stay on the sidewalk, but you cannot be on our property.
Okay. Look at this, guys. Right here to right here. Okay. We good here? We good on the sidewalk here? Okay. Look at how many there are. It's like a golf cart convention. There are more security guards here on golf carts than there were Secret Service guys guarding Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. Trump or Kamala? Trump? All right. So easy. Look at it, and right in front of our friends at security. Hey guys, Trump or Kamala?
Kamala, because I want to get an abortion if I need to get an abortion.
Bye. Go home to mommy. Go home to mommy.
Trump or Kamala? What do you think?
Kamala. It's kind of obvious, I feel. Yeah. Ditto to you. Yeah.
Same one, abortion.
Yeah. Yep. I think Trump is kind of a psycho, personally.
You know, you really say, where do these people come from?
Trump or Kamala?
I'm going Trump. I'm voting Trump.
Yeah.
We'll see.
The two-time assassination attempt survivor.
I know, it's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Bulletproof.
Hella aura right there.
That's a hella
so
aura.
So much aura. Oh. You see it radiating.
I'm not off the juice, baby, but I walk in a room and I'm stumbling.
There he is. It's our friend. Come over here. Trump or Kamala? What are we thinking, man? Trump.
All the way.
All the way. Economy? What is it? Why Trump for you?
Economy, border, very important things.
Two-time assassination attempt survivor?
That's unbelievable. We've never had anything like that.
That's right.
So it's really moving to see.
That's right. The guy's got aura.
Definitely.
Got aura. Who you got in 2024? Trump or Kamala?
I don't want to say it. You know who I got.
Yeah, he said that's a man who wants to make America great again.
You know who I got.
Yeah, that's right. What an amazing day at the University of Tampa. 10-15 minutes. It got like 200 people saying they want Donald Trump for president. Man, Kamala's gonna lose. Who you got, Trump or Kamala? What'd you think? Yeah.
Trump, let's go.
That's right. The assassination survivor aura.
That's right.
Yeah. Why though? Why for you, Trump?
He's a strong leader. He's a genius businessman. He's gonna make America great again.
That's right, my man. All right. See ya, man. Nice to meet you. Look at this. What a great college. What a great school. What a great state. This has been Benny. We're on the block.
I will give $100 million to whoever gets me out of here. $100 million. What does this guy think he is? 100 million.
Where the truth gon' be, faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade. Cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny shows the storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.